think my favorite comparison of the week was from one of our own. I think it was Byron who said that Matt Gaetz has pulled off the ultimate dog chasing a car routine, and he caught it. And now what? What do we do?
Right.
Where do we go? I don't know if they've accomplished anything other than embarrassing Kevin McCarthy, which may have been what they intended to do all along.
Seems like it may have been from Gaetz.
Right. But I think it's curious. Where do they go from here? What do they want? They need to kind of spell it out. And what does the future hold for the House Republicans? Because right now, if I'm a neutral or a swing voter, I'm thinking they can't keep their house in order. Why would I vote for them in a year's time?
Welcome to the Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. Sarah Bedford, and I'm here today with managing editor Chris Irvine.
Hi.
And Chris, we have to start with the biggest news of this week, that Speaker Kevin McCarthy, now former House Speaker, was ousted by a small number of conservatives. Did they accomplish anything by removing Speaker McCarthy?
Well, I think my favorite comparison of the week was from one of our own. I think it was Byron who said that Matt Gaetz has pulled off the ultimate dog chasing a car routine, and he caught it. And now what? What do we do?
Right.
Where do we go? I don't know if they've accomplished anything other than embarrassing Kevin McCarthy, which may have been what they intended to do all along.
Seems like it may have been from Gaetz.
Right. But I think it's curious. Where do they go from here? What do they want? They need to kind of spell it out. And what does the future hold for the House Republicans? Because right now, if I'm a neutral or a swing voter, I'm thinking they can't keep their house in order. Why would I vote for them in a year's time?
Steve Scalise, the House Majority Leader, and Jim Jordan, the current chair of the House Judiciary Committee, are the two front runners, I believe only announced candidates so far as of this taping for the speakership. Who do you think has an advantage? And, if you think Scalise is the front runner, do you think that he's maybe too much in the mold of McCarthy?
I think it's a good question. I think they're both heavyweight candidates for sure. I can see the pros and cons of both of them. I do think Scalise probably has the edge when it comes to being in leadership already. Whether he's perceived as being too close to McCarthy, I don't know. There will unfortunately be very real questions about his health. I know that he's certainly kind of battled back from a lot of adversity before. And I don't know whether that would linger for him. The thing I'm curious about with Jim Jordan is that he's been such a driving force in one of your favorite subjects.
That's right.
The Hunter Biden investigation. So much so that I would include him and James Comer as the Republican faces of those investigations. He's been very effective there, and I think he's very kind of bombastic and certainly gets his point across. Would that then subsequently hurt those investigations? Would it hurt House Judiciary? Is he maybe better served in the current role that he's in, where he can perhaps act as more of a Republican attack dog in some respects? I'd be curious to know what the thinking is there. I mean, imagine if he did become Speaker, then that stuff will still remain incredibly important. But I would worry maybe the messaging might kind of lose a bit of steam. Perhaps not, but that's definitely a concern I would have.
A victim of his own success, they're going to want to keep him in Judiciary.
You certainly don't want to punish people for being successful, but maybe, it depends how kind of serious they are going through this. And I'm sure they're serious, but I wonder if maybe it's come at the wrong time for Jim Jordan.
So overnight, this past evening, the story broke that the Biden administration, after Joe Biden campaigned on never building another inch of border wall, now actually wants to remove regulations because they so desperately, urgently need to build more border wall. How is that possible?
It's wild, isn't it? All the freezing cold takes exposed of Biden saying during this campaign that not another inch of wall will be built. I think it's no secret that the border is a severe problem. We see the constant images and videos coming through of this surge that's going on. Mayorkas they've demanded, some have demanded that he be impeached for this, and here we are, back again from flashbacks to 2016, who's who's going to build the wall. We're going to build a wall. Trump had obviously been kind of quiet on it recently, and I can't see that this is going to be anything but a major boon to his campaign, because it's the ultimate "I told you so."
Right. And finally, I have to ask you about some drama with Joe Biden's dog, Commander. It just emerged that Commander has actually bitten more White House staff and Secret Service agents than previously known. And I believe the count had previously been at 11 incidents, biting incidents, in a short period of time, because this is the second German Shepherd dog that the Biden family has had in the White House. How is it possible that this dog is still hanging around people biting them after all this?
Yeah, the Commander body count, isn't
That's
it?
That's
right. I feel kind of torn about this story because I'm a massive dog lover myself. I have a dog. I've always had dogs growing up. I've had big dogs growing up. But there's no, whether, if a dog does it once, that's a problem. And multiple times, it shows that clearly, for the dog's sake, the dog's not comfortable in a setting. I'd imagine that he's overstimulated, and there's all these kind of weird people that he doesn't know running around at all times. But it ultimately is a safety in the workplace thing. And can you imagine going to this office every day?
I would have some thoughts if your dog was biting me all the time.
Right. So look, there's a really extreme way that you could say that this dog should probably be put down ultimately, and I hate to say that, but at the very least, the dog needs to be removed and from the White House and probably go to Biden's beach house or certainly get some rather rigorous training.
Send it to the farm.
I know people kind of joke about the story and they laugh about it because it is somewhat absurd, but it's yet another kind of sign that Joe Biden isn't in control of his own White House.
Right, or at least has a judgment problem when it comes to people under his charge.
Yeah, he's bitten off more than he could chew.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Chris and the rest of the political team at washingtonexaminer.com.